Hi, my name is Prisha. I'm a junior studying political science, and come spend a day in my life while I tell you about my summer internships.
So here I'm walking to my first class of the day, the Politics of Education Policy. One of the reasons I signed up for this class was actually from my first internship this summer with Professor Warshaw from the Political Science Department. He helped me realize that it's important to pick a couple of specialties in the field of political science so you can figure out what you're passionate about. One of my tasks as a research assistant of his was to pick specific fields and figure out state policies on them. So I did that with topics including gun regulation, abortion, bans in women's health care, and gay rights policy. Another thing I got to work on with him was detecting governmental or political bias in city redistricting efforts. And that sounds like a mouthful, but it was actually really interesting to see how cities across the United States conduct redistricting efforts and fully understand who's involved in that process. A lot of my tasks included manual data collection, which was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be, so I'm really glad I had this opportunity. And after all that walking, I finally made it to Monroe. After a super quick lunch at home, I'm heading back to campus for my next class, Scopes and Methods. I was super nervous about registering for this class at first because I had no prior experience. But after working with Professor Warshaw, all my worries were put to ease. I'm also passionate about voting rights and democracy, and I got to learn so much more about those fields at my second internship at Voting Rights Fund. Voting Rights Fund is an Arizona-based PAC that specializes in protecting voting rights everywhere. My boss wanted to make sure my internship benefited me, so we met early on and discussed my goals through my internship. Some of my basic tasks included following the news on anything voting rights and democracy related, writing fundraising material, and conducting candidate research on Arizona elections. And I just made it to class. I just made it back home after class, and I wanted to share my favorite experiences out of each internship. As a research assistant and an intern, I got to do what I wanted to do and pursue the things that interested me the most. As a research assistant, I got to look into more gun regulations and make my own index on bump stock bans throughout the United States that will hopefully be updated into the database that my professor was working on. As an intern, I got to co-write and create my own newsletter for fundraising purposes, and we talked a lot about the history of voting rights, important topics in voting rights, and celebrated holidays like the passage of the Voting Rights Act and the 19th Amendment. At VRF, I was also able to use my data science background and collect information on where donations to specific PACs go and if contributions actually go to candidates and campaigns or go back into administrative funding. Being able to engage with data as a research assistant and through my VRF internship and write politically has been something that I've always wanted to do and get more experience in. Both of my internships this summer were remote, and I'm so glad that they were because the flexible schedule between both of them let me do 2 internships this summer, and I still got to have a lot of fun with my friends and family at home. Now that I'm done with classes and done with my internships, I am so excited to take a nap and just chill out for the rest of the day. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to intern at both of these wonderful places, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.